Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Gaming. This is Fear of the Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 5, Bold Predictions. We're going to talk a little bit about this week's episode. I know you guys saw a couple teasers, a couple trailers that are out there, and we've got some good stuff to talk about. It's going to be a good episode. Before we get too far into it, you guys know I want to give a shout out to the Patreon Army. Patreon Army is awesome. They do so much for this channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are absolutely amazing. And one more thing before we get into it, just want to make a public service announcement. With this week's episode and future episodes, as you guys know, there is a challenge between Will the Bill and myself, whether or not June and John are going to make it. The only thing that I want to say before, every episode that goes by that June lives, it's just an opportunity to appreciate the wonderful nature of the actress. So if you have a calendar that's still on June, just walk by it and just show some love and affection. If you see her on the television, just go up to your TV and hug that screen, because you just don't know which episode might be her last. So appreciate June while she's still there, because she's certainly not going to be there past episode number 16. All right, let's talk about the bold predictions for this week, everybody, because there's some good stuff. If you guys saw the video, we got the bog, number 7. We got a rock climbing hat. We got a chopper. We got a whole lot of cool things going on. The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead specifically, if you compare the two, Fear the Walking Dead has walker tornadoes. They've got alligators. They've got things that we don't see. Well, this week, we're going to see something. Many of you asked, like, hey, Kills, what would you do if you're in a zombie apocalypse? And I said, well, I'd probably go up on top of a mountain, because it seems like it'd be pretty safe there. Well, this week, we're going to get to see some rock climbing. I don't think we've ever seen rock climbing in the Walking Dead universe, so it's going to be pretty cool. Now, how the events go down, I think it's going to be kind of this this chase, like, Al got captured and she gets away and then she thinks she's safe and then people are after her and it could be barricaded. So, she can't get out of the gate on the right. She can't get out. There could be some guards on the left. Only way she can go is to climb over the rock. That this is probably like a fortress type area. Remember we said we thought it'd be a fortress? So there are a couple walkers there that died somehow that are wearing these rock climbing helmets. So it looks like she hijacks one of those, maybe from one of the dead walkers, and she makes her way up the rock climbing. So it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Also, we know that she's in the chopper. If you guys did not see, how many people have seen both of this week's teasers? Just a quick show of hands, let me know. And do me a favor, hit the like button while you're doing that. Just show me by hitting the thumbs up button. But if you've seen both of them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, I'll go in a little bit more detail. Some people are like, well, that's why we tune into you, Kills, because we don't have to watch that stuff. Exactly, Coco. All right, several people have not. So she gets in the chopper. She's about to fire it up, and it's low on fuel. The fact that it's low on fuel poses a whole lot of questions for me with the Rick Grimes movie. But she did pick up the radio, and she's still wearing her normal attire here. And then she radios for Morgan. Next thing you know, there's a gun pulled on her. Will the Bill says, if you guys are ever outside and you look up and see a plane, just smile, because you never know which one Kills will be on. That's a great point. And if it is going to Aruba, it might be one. But if it's going to Atlanta, odds are I won't be on that one. Just saying. So, keep note of what she's wearing. I will say it is more likely than not that Al ends up killing one of the people in the black suit and taking the black suit, and that's her out on the street. What do you guys think? You guys think that is Al that we saw last week doing a little bit of the killing, and this is going to be prior. This episode, I think, is going to go back in time a couple hours. Because last week's episode showed the person killing in the street, then showed the helicopter taking off. I think that this will be slightly before that happens. And when the helicopter takes off, that the only question that I have is if Al was flying that helicopter, with very low fuel, where's she going? And I've seen this mentioned a couple times. Somebody mentioned it a little bit ago too. What is Althea's profession? Loaded question. She's a reporter. So she's not a scape artist. She is there to get as much information as she can possibly get. So I would expect this week, this is my bold prediction, she is going to snoop around and find some clues. Now, here's what, this has not been validated yet. So because of the clues that we have right now, the map, the helicopter being low on fuel, I think Rick has already been taken. I know some people have put videos out there. They said, nope, it's 4 months away. I have not seen anything that can tell me definitively that it's not a month after they took Rick or a month before they took Rick. So if I had to go out on a limb and make a bold prediction, I think Rick's already been taken, and I think we're going to see some clues in these helicopters. Robin, you have to give me something concrete. Angel, you have to give me something concrete, because there is nothing out there other than what some of the producers said when they said it's about 6 months. They didn't say it's exactly this day. No one has confirmed the exact time frame. So I know what the writers mentioned, but the thing you have to keep in mind is the time of which Dwight left and also the time they were in the stadium. And they said it's been about a year. But not once have they said this is before Rick Grimes was taken. Now, I'm not saying it's 100%. So, at best, it's within a couple months either way. How long was the time skip where Negan was in jail and they started building the bridge? And I know we're going to get some answers here. Not confirmed 18 months, Crystal. Not confirmed 18 months. Not confirmed 18 months. About a year and a half. About approximately, there you go. That's what I want to hear, Christmas girl. Approximately. These have been approximations. No, 18 months was the ballpark that people came up with. About a year and a half. Hey, year and 4 months. 2 years, somewhere in that range. Nothing definitive. Same thing with Dwight. I've been looking for about a year. And this is why I said that if you've got somebody that's been looking about a year and you've got an estimation of about 18 months, you're within a few months either way. But we can't go by a strict calendar and say, well, it's been exactly 18 months and Dwight knows it's been exactly a year, so therefore it's exactly 6 months. That's not where we're at with this. However, it's going to be slightly before they pick up Rick, or it could be the time they pick up Rick or slightly after, all within a little bit of a time frame. So, here's my question. How does Dwight know he's been looking for Sherry for a year? If Dwight says I've been looking for Sherry for about a year, how does he know that? Marking the days, counting the sunsets, seasons. Seasons never, throw you for a loop. I was in San Diego a couple of years ago, and actually a few years back, and it was 40-something degrees in May. Yeah, seasons. Exactly. Thank you, Richard. He just kind of checks the wind. So about a year. So is about a year 13 months? Maybe 14 months? So I think we could probably go, yes, in San Diego. Believe it or not. So Dwight's been marking it down. So D-Train says 10 or 11 months. So I think if we took 100 people in this room, we would probably get 50 different answers. So how many people think that Althea is going to find a clue that has something to do with Rick Grimes? Okay. But that's a little confusing because some of you that are saying, yes, I think she's going to find a clue that has something to do with Rick Grimes. If Dwight's only been looking for a year, then they don't find Rick for 6 months. So that's not possible. So Dwight's way off, if that's the case. Now, the reason I want to do this whole roundabout thing for bold predictions is we don't know what kind of fortress they have. And we do know that this helicopter is out of juice. So they got to refuel it somewhere. Either they have a base or they're dropping people off here. But I think that's something that's relevant. Is the helicopter low on fuel because they just went and picked up Rick? Or is it low on fuel because, here's the thing. We only saw the helicopter so many times. We saw the helicopter fly up for Negan. We also saw the helicopter fly it for Rick. But what's the possibility it's not even the same helicopter? Now, for prop purposes, it's probably the same helicopter. But for the storyline, it's very possible that they have multiple helicopters coming in from different areas. And this would kind of get us back to that central location. It doesn't mean that Texas is the stronghold, and it doesn't mean that Rick's here. And for those of you really astute checking the time skips, it doesn't mean that they picked up Rick yet. And I'm gonna go back to what I've said all along. I think there's a 3-month variance before or after. And what I'm hoping for this week is I'm hoping that we either get some blood in the helicopter. I mean, it doesn't have to be Rick's blood, but at least something, just a little bit more teaser. Belt buckle, something that might have belonged to Rick that maybe we can see kind of another Easter egg. And Daryl, who says it's before. Okay, so a lot of people said that they're going to find a Rick clue. Now I want to divert the conversation to the other people. How many people definitely think it is slightly before they pick up Rick? Before the Rick injury happened, which means Dwight would be mostly correct. Okay, if it is slightly before, which is a possibility, that chopper ain't getting to Virginia. Because it's low on fuel. It's not flying from Texas to Virginia. So if Althea is the one that is hijacking that chopper, and it's before they got Rick, then it's likely another helicopter that went to pick up Rick. Make sense? You guys follow me with that? So we're going to have to funnel this down, and we're really going to have to look for our clues this week, and then get on top of this time frame. If it's after they picked up Rick and Dwight's timing is off, then it doesn't matter. They don't need to fly this particular helicopter back to Virginia or have somebody gas it up or be in a fortress where you have fuel. So we don't know if the helicopter has fuel. We don't know if they're at a stronghold or a fortress that has fuel. We don't know who's flying the helicopter. And I don't think it's Althea that was flying the helicopter back to pick up Rick. Could we probably agree with that? That she's not the pilot? Or, if there's 3 months to go, could she be the pilot? Let me just throw this out there for the group. If she finds a helicopter and there's 3 to 4 months, okay. I don't think so either, but I just want to throw that out there as a possibility. Co-pilot, pilot. Maybe she's filming. She along for the ride. I mean, just random stuff I'm throwing out there. I don't think so either, but I want to cover all bases here. So I would say we're going to have to pick a side here very soon. And the side that thinks that they've already picked up Rick would also probably lean toward they could find some clues this week. The side that would say, nope, they haven't picked up Rick yet, well, there's a whole lot more possibilities, and I would say it's a stronger possibility if you think that the time frame is very accurate and Rick has not been in a helicopter. it would probably make more sense that there are multiple helicopters with the same logos, and this particular helicopter did not pick up Rick. And if that's the case, it's more likely than not that Rick is in another state and he's not in Texas. That would be kind of my bold prediction, my overview. And I think it's kind of like a red herring. I think seeing the helicopter was really meant to get all of us talking about Rick and how he's brought back, and this is the location of what's going on. Now, they got something going on. I mean, they do have radiation, and they got walkers, and they look like, they got a chopper. I mean, they're just not here for nothing. But it does look like this group expands multiple states. And I think very much like the time skips when people say it, they give you clues, they give you hints, they tell you how long it takes for an eggplant to grow, all of those things. I think that it was important that she turned the key on that particular helicopter and we saw that it was on empty. And maybe Ella Smith, for that reason, well, Joey, there could be a fueling stop, but if there's a fueling stop, then it would mean that Althea's not the one that took the chopper. And that's something we got to look at as well. She was in the chopper. She was trying to take it. She got in a fight with someone. Did she win? Did she get away? Did someone else fly away? Could they have done a fueling stop? Yes, those are all valid questions. Or maybe they got some type of tanker right there, and they're going to be able to refuel it from where they're at. And Daryl, I think so too. And this is really what I want to get at with the bold prediction, is the CRM group they're funded. They're all over the place. So we can't just box them in Texas. Now, there's a lot going on in Texas, and why everybody ends up in Texas, I have no idea. But my prediction on that would be that Rick is not there. So we got time for another bold prediction. Could Georgie be tied in with this group? I mean, I know my answer to this, but I want to see some other people's answers as well. Good. I'm seeing most people say no. And I'll tell you why that's got to be a no. One, this group is doing testing and they're human trafficking and they're doing some things. And I don't think Maggie would have been involved in that. That's number one. And number two, I think this could be a group that Georgie knows about, that maybe there's kind of a civil war or something between the two groups. And Maggie, if they flew Rick back to the headquarters and Maggie knew about that, she would not have waited 7 years to go tell Michonne about it. Now, they could have some things going for the last 7 years. And maybe Maggie just got word about the group capturing Rick or brought somebody in. And I feel like that's the way the transition's going to happen with Michonne. That Maggie's going to make it back and she'll give Michonne some information and Michonne is going to hit the road and go look for Rick. I mean, that seems to be the most logical thing right now. But I don't see Michonne going all the way to Texas. I see Michonne going to Ohio. So Goucher with the fuel situation. So even if they were to get close to Virginia, they ain't making it back. So they're not going to make that trip on anything less than a full tank. Certainly. Good thoughts all the way around. So this is not going to be a super long stream because I know a lot of people are going to watch this tomorrow night. And really what I want to get out there and kind of plant the seed for discussion. I know anytime we talk time skips, it gets passionate and it's confusing and we're trying to figure out, how long was Morgan there before he left? So he waited about 6 or 7 months, right? And then he went all the way down and then he had all the deal. Once he got there, they had the stadium. So Morgan's gone. Probably what? A year and a half? And if we add those, see, all right, here's something we got to take a look at. And then we'll wind this thing down. All right, how long was Morgan at Jadis's place before he left? I think it was said, was it 8 months? Because the eggplant grew? Is that safe? All right, I think I heard 8 months, but we could say 6 to 8 months. All right. So how long do we think it took Morgan to get to Texas? Well, Scott Gimple actually addressed that in an interview. When they asked how long Morgan was there, and he said how long it took for an eggplant to grow. And I think he said 8 months. But once again, we could be off a little bit. We could say 6, doesn't matter. But then Morgan, the time it took Morgan to get to Texas, maybe a month. You guys want to go with a month? I want to get something that everybody agrees on. Some people are saying 2 to 3 months. 3 months. I guess a month. Just humor me. Let's just go with a month, okay? All right, so now we've got 9 months. Some people saying 2 months. I'm going to go low here. All right, 9 months. How long was Morgan with Madison's group? They grew crops. They were in a stadium. I think we approximated about a year, right? Oh, no. It was not 2 weeks. It was about a year. I think he said about a year. All right. What do we have here? We've got a year and 9 months. Now, before we calculate how long Dwight... Oh, this is easy, Emmy. So before we calculate how long Dwight has been looking for Sherry, if we said Morgan was waiting 6 months before he left, 8 months before he left, then it took him a month to get there, and we add another year, we're a year and 9 months. So how long was the time skip again? Before Rick was building the bridge? One and a half years. Okay, let me do my math here. Okay, so 1.5 years. So now could we safely say, based on how long Morgan was waiting, how long it took, and the fact he's been with Madison for a year, that Rick has already been taken? Because if the time skip was 18 months, all of the stuff that went down with Rick was in the matter of weeks with them building the bridge. It wasn't months. It wasn't 6 months. It wasn't 8 months. It would mean that if Dwight's been looking for Sherry for about a year, Dwight could have already been somewhere else for 6 months. We can't go based on Dwight's timeline. We have to go with Rick's timeline. So it makes sense that Morgan, at this time, they're already past the time that Rick has been taken, which would make sense that the helicopter has no fuel, that Rick, they could have used that helicopter, they could have dropped him off along the way, and then brought the helicopter back here. Any of those things are possibilities. But I would say it is more likely than not that helicopter has already taken Rick to its point, and we're learning about the movie at this point. That's what I want to hit home with everybody. So it's not likely that they're going to pick up Rick now. They're on the final stages of what they were doing. And in fact, we did not see a helicopter after they picked up Rick. So it's possible that the last trip they took, now I know you can say, well, we might have, but nobody talked about helicopters. And then we had a time skip of 7 years. So 7 years, it wasn't like, hey, right after Rick left, a couple nights after that, once Jadis was gone, we didn't hear another word about a helicopter. So I think we're supposed to believe that that was the last trip, and now we have this helicopter that's low on fuel. They're not even really flying it around anywhere. Well, the truth is, I don't really care how long it takes to grow an eggplant. That's not the point. How long have they been in the denim factory? We didn't add that in either. So if you want to cut down the eggplant time from 8 months down to 5 months, 6 months, whatever you want to do, or say Morgan flew and didn't stop to take a break along the way, and he walked from Virginia to Texas in 2 days, which is impossible. Whatever. What I'm saying is we lowballed it. We lowballed it to a point where it's likely that Rick was actually taken several months before. That there should be enough extra in there that would say they're probably not going to pick up Rick. This has already happened. So I do think there'll be a Rick clue or a Jadis clue or something along those lines. And Dwight looking for about a year, I don't know what Dwight's been doing. Maybe he's been in Atlanta. Maybe he's been in Texas. He's been all over the place. I don't know how he's been keeping score. But I know that between Morgan's journey, Morgan has been gone for over a year and a half. And that's probably the best we can sort of piece it together. And they're certainly trying to assist us with the helicopter and some of the other things. But we need something tangible. Maybe Rick's belt. Maybe a piece of his belt is still in that helicopter. Yeah, he did, Kel, and that's why I only said a month. I think a month from Virginia to Texas is a reasonable assessment. I mean, some people are adding 2 or 3 months. The guessing game is hard. They're not going to give us anything tangible, and that's the fun. If they give us all the answers, we got nothing to talk about and nothing to predict and speculate. So, yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it to be spoon-fed to me. I want to come and figure it out each and every night. So, hey, we're at 36 minutes. We're going to wind the stream down a little bit quicker than normal because we have Freestyle Friday tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, I see some good comments coming in. If I didn't get a chance to call on you or get your comments, keep in mind, everything you guys are typing are a permanent part of this video. People are going to go back. They're going to watch the playback. I am going to ask you guys, if anybody does watch it tomorrow night, just no spoilers, please. We're going to be doing our Freestyle Friday, hanging out, having a good time, and we'll certainly get together and talk about it a little bit on Sunday night. So, hey, appreciate everybody being here. You guys have a wonderful evening. Do me a favor. Give me a quick puddin' pop up there. We only got a couple more streams left with our super fan of the month, Mitch True Puddin', and we'll be switching that over on Monday. This is the best detective work we can get based on what we have. But if you do watch it early and you watch it multiple times on Sunday, look for any helicopter clues. I mean, anything that looks like that we can kind of pile on, whether it's a little bit of blood or speculation or one of his gray beard hairs or something like that. We'll find it. So, E-Beat, sorry I was late, Army. I'll listen to the playback. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys, if you are tuning in late, check out the whole playback. And I will see everybody tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Freestyle Friday. It's going to be a little crazy tomorrow night. So, a couple surprises, and I know some people have some interesting things planned. So, looking forward to seeing you all there. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.